kids are not afraid of computers.
Welcome to This Week in Retro for the week of October 26th, 2020. Coming up on today's show...
How many more minis?
The Atari hotel chain.
A hole-in-one for the C64.
Arcade Dreams documentary Kickstarter. All this and more on This Week in Retro.
Up-to-date news.
For out-of-date tech.
John, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get mini console fatigue right now. A week doesn't seem to go by when we're not talking about the latest miniaturization of a system or a console today. And, well, this episode is no different. So tell me, John, before I tell you what this week's mini announcement is there a mini system that doesn't exist yet that you'd like to see made?
Oh, yeah. I mean... Listen, Neil, I love anything small, anything miniature. I love stuff like model railroads, the Lego architecture series. I've got a whole bunch of those little video game dioramas that people make. There's nothing small that I'm not into. What I don't care about with these mini consoles is functionality. I'd rather see like little Funko. Do they have Funko Pop figures in England, Neil?
Yeah, Funko Pops, and there are these ducks that you can buy that are like Street Fighter ducks and all of those kind of things.
Right.
Tubs they're called. There's all that stuff. I'm not into any of that stuff, I've got to say.
I will say that the Funko Pop craze is probably jumped the shark, but what I'd like to see is something about that size. Make me a console with a matching TV or a mini computer with a matching monitor that when you switch them on, have a working screen, but play a demo reel or something like that. I'd rather see that and be able to line a bunch of those up on my shelf than a half size or a 3/4 size working unit that I just use as a display piece anyway. I've got real hardware.
Yes. Yeah.
I've got the real stuff. I've got emulators for when I don't feel like taking out the real stuff. I don't need any more ways to play my favorite games. What do you think, Neil?
Yeah, I like that idea, actually, how you've just explained it there. I would love lots of mini arcades that are just playing the attract screen with your sounds. Yeah. Turn them all on and close your eyes and pretend you're in an arcade. That would work for me. What I've got a yearning for at the moment, though, is a mini pinball table to go alongside my mini gauntlet cabinet that I've got. And that, I'm not talking about a physical, a real table with balls pinging around. I mean a mini digital pinball table, so I can swap out the tables that I play on. You could have a little vertical screen at the back with the art that swaps around and the scoreboard and all of that stuff. I think there'd be a big market for that. I mean, I've never really been into pinball, but I've just got a yearning to have that kind of system to be able to experiment and get to know all of the different classic tables.
I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised that has not made an appearance yet with all the mini crazes that are going on right now, because pinball does emulate so well on small screens. People have built virtual pinball tables, and there are even some commercially available ones that just swap out the real play fields for, basically TV screens, and they do pretty well. So, you may be on something there.
Yeah, the software exists. So just scale that down. Yeah, I think the key is just trying to get some kind of sense of depth on a pinball table, because you're using a flat monitor, of course. If you can just sort of drop it down, maybe put some smoky glass over it just to give a little bit of, fool the eye a little bit, I think that would be really good. Anyway, that's what we want. And it's none of those things that's been announced this week. It's an announcement by Atari, and it's the Mini Pong Junior. Ooh. Yeah. Does Mini Pong get the nostalgic juices going for you, John?
A few years back, Atari released a coffee table size. Well, it was a coffee table. It was a coffee table size coffee table. Imagine that. This thing had built-in Pong. Okay, but instead of a screen, this is kind of the opposite of what we were talking about with the pinball thing. It actually used a real block and real paddles. And this thing was powered by motors and rails and pulleys and magnets. And Neil, if there's anything I'm a bigger fan of than small stuff, it's anything that's mechanically operated, with tons of gears and stuff like that. I love the feeling of knowing that there is a lot of complicated machinery going on behind the scenes that I don't see. So, however, this is not that at all, unfortunately. This is an LCD screen that plays Pong. Yay. So It doesn't excite me at all. You do get a paddle controller, a rotating knob, so you don't have the only thing that can make this work or worse is if it was some sort of a D-pad or something like that. So at least you do have the accurate knob of control like the original Pong had. But I'm just guessing from your lead-in, this isn't doing a lot for you either, is it?
It's not. It really isn't. And you're making a really good effort to try and find some positives in it there. But I will say this for Pong. It's head-to-head gaming in one of its purest forms. It is a super simple battle of reflexes, essentially, which can be good fun in short bursts. And it's always best played against another human rather than the AI. And this thing does have different difficulty levels of AI to play against. But yeah, I'm struggling to find the positives as well. What we do know about this thing is that it's only 30 centimeters long. It's got a 7.9-inch LCD panel. You've got the dial, as you mentioned, at either end of the screen for each player and a button to serve. You can charge it via USB and then take it with the battery charged and play Pong on the move. So, it's Pong for people with a busy lifestyle, John.
That is quite the sales pitch.
The price hasn't been revealed yet. It is due out in time for Christmas. And looking at a photo of it, it looks just like one of those old LCD tabletop games from the 70s or 80s. So it has got that kind of cheap plasticky look about it. Looks like a tablet, really, dropped into a plastic box with two dials. That's how I describe it. That's fine by me if the price reflects that, but something tells me that might not be the case. So we need to look out for the price announcement. I honestly won't be watching it too closely. Maybe if it had a selection of breakout games thrown in too, that would be more interesting. Maybe. But this is just pure Pong. If it comes in at under £20, sure, fine. But I've got a feeling it's going to be higher than that. What would your upper price limit be on this one?
I think $20 is the upper limit. I don't know if you got this in the UK, but here in the States, we had a bunch of releases here recently playing on the nostalgic feelings of people our age. There was a standalone Oregon Trail game.
Oh, yes.
That basically, it took all of the keyboard commands and mapped them to individual buttons and labeled the buttons. And it came in an attractive looking case. I think it was about $15. And of course, we've seen all of the handheld style arcade machines of various quality being marketed, and even going earlier, the old LCD powered Mattel baseball and football games, which are about as Philistine as you can get in terms of portable gaming. But these things have nostalgic, they trigger nostalgia in fans of a certain age, and they've been re-released as well. So I think there's probably a market for this. You've just got to put it right in that stocking stuffer category.
Yeah. How long before companies like Tomy start actually making one-to-one reproductions of those original plasticky tabletop LCD games? I'm sure that will come before long. And you've got the dying of dysentery on the move with portable Oregon Trail for busy lifestyles. Well, Pong fans, keep an eye out on Atari.com for this release. And let us know on the This Week in Retro subreddit if you'll be buying one of these.
Neil, when you think of fine hotels, what comes to mind? Maybe someplace like the Ritz-Carlton, the Oriental, or the Park Hyatt? Well, soon we may be adding Atari to that list. Paul, aka Hermsky, has submitted a story from PC Gamer that contains a concept rendering of an Atari-themed gaming hotel, and this thing looks like something straight out of a YouTube thumbnail of a 10-hour Vaporwave compilation. You've got neon out the wazoo. You got classic Atari 2600 box art lining the promenade. Now, Neil, before we get into the specifics of an Atari-themed hotel, in the interest of equal time, what classic British computer do you think should get the hotel treatment?
Oh, it's a good question. If my Atari hotel room doesn't have a complimentary mini Pong console, by the way, I'll be disappointed. But if we did have a British equivalent, then I would have to go with the Amstrad Hotel. My first machine was an Amstrad CPC, so I've got lots of nostalgia for it. And Amstrad can actually provide everything we need. We can have the cheap Amstrad Hi-Fi, which was designed to look like separates of a stack system, but is actually just one lump of molded plastic.
Classy.
We'll have the Amstrad Emailer phone to send out emails and get ourselves on Instagram and share pictures. Did you know you can still buy an Amstrad TV, by the way? The Amstrad brand seems to live on in India. So somebody's obviously paid up for the rights to use the name. There are 4K Amstrad smart TVs that you can still buy there. Washing machines, dishwashers, all sorts. So we could pair up an 8-bit Amstrad CPC Micro with a new Amstrad 4K TV. There we go. I would stay in that Amstrad hotel. Speaking of which, by the way, with Amstrad, this was a company that, as I described there with the hi-fi, tried to take something premium, make it look premium, but actually, make it really cheap. Did you have an equivalent company in America that did that?
Oh, I think that's every company in America.
That's every.
We are dressing things up to the nines to hide the fact that this was made by a sweatshop worker in Pakistan. Yeah. It's really unfortunate. Whenever you buy, let me share a story. I went to buy a new chair for my podcasting desk. And I was looking around in the used furniture room, and I found it was built like a tank. I mean, the legs and the base are made out of cast iron, and it felt so comfortable. And I asked the guy running the store, I said, "Hey, this is a nice chair, but the upholstery is a little bit worn. What if I just want to get a new one that is the same quality?" And he's like, "They just don't make them anymore. There are no chair manufacturers make things to this standard, even if you spend $1,000 or $2,000. So nothing is built like it used to be, Neil. Nothing."
Yeah. No, it's a sad tale. So, but back to the story. What do you think of this Atari hotel idea, John? Good idea or not for you?
I don't know. When I go to a hotel, unless we're talking about a resort, like some sort of Caribbean resort or something like that, I'm not really there to soak up the atmosphere. I'm there to do other things, to leave the hotel and go out and about. So as long as my room has working AC and is relatively rat-free, I'm pretty content. However, it looks like Atari is kind of going the resort route with this thing. They're planning some related amenities. They're going to have retro arcades, a VR space, some gaming themed restaurants and bars. Personally, I hope the bar has fake wood grain paneling to match the original 2600. That would be awesome. I'd love that. But when I hear things like gaming themed restaurants and bars, there are so many ways that you can do that poorly. In a VR space, are we going to be playing Pong in VR? On some grody headset. They're going to have to prove it to me, Neil. Neil, are there any other amenities that you would think a gaming themed hotel that might be enticing?
Yeah, I'm with you on all the points you've raised there. I think that for me, a hotel has to be in a good location and it has to be clean, and that's about it. If I'm going on holiday to stay in a hotel, it doesn't really matter above and beyond cleanliness and location. If I was traveling for business, I guess it might be a nice distraction to go and play some video games in the lobby or whatever. But there are two things that stand out for a problem for me with this whole concept of an Atari-themed hotel. The first is that surely this is going to be sold as a premium experience. It offers something that other hotels don't. But when you think about a traditional arcade or gaming arena, that's not a premium space. You don't think of the arcade you went to in the 80s or 90s with its sticky carpet and the guy dishing out change from the booth in a string vest. You don't think of that as a classy establishment. So how do you present an experience that reflects the premium price that this hotel will be charging while evoking nostalgia for a distinctly non-premium experience? I'm not making that connection. I don't know how that will work out. The other is the longevity of it. You've mentioned synthwave and, the wood paneling, and no doubt there'll be RGB lighting and all of that stuff. And I love all of that. I love the vaporware look. But this is art, music and art. This evolves. Nothing stands still. And the style of 2020 vaporware art, despite being art that taps into nostalgic themes, will be outdated quickly. And so too, with it, the whole look of the hotel. So if you go all out in that style, it's going to look dated and old pretty quickly, and not in the good dated and old nostalgic ways. So I think they need to think really carefully about the aesthetic of it. Yes, go for wood grain and get that Atari logo up on all the walls. But I think subtlety has to be the key to create something that's both classy and doesn't have to be torn down in 2 years because it looks outdated.
I think that if they do it right, they can make these pieces modular enough that they can kind of move
When you think of an 80s computer geared towards sex machines, I've got to show you today out of the box. Yamaha. I'll be honest, I've got the musical capabilities of a banana. Promise not to laugh at me. Sex machines, I know that I've got some that work. The others need a really good clean. I made an extra video for this on my second channel, but I do know it works. Sex machines, they're Yamaha. Sex machines, no matter. First thing we need to know about these sex machines, sex machines, that's what we need to know. Sex machines, they're Yamaha. Filthy. However, back to the good stuff. First difference that we see is when we flip it over and I got hold of this. This will get a clean up, so attractive. I'd be pretty happy with that. Sex machines, Microsoft wanted the same, but of course, this is probably the one that you want to have. We've got that FM synth, so that's more than enough for me. Sex machines. First thing we need to know about these. Sex machines. That's what we need to know. Sex machines. They're Yamaha. Filthy. And perhaps make this the centerpiece of their studio. The first thing we need to know about these. Sex machines. That's what we need to know. Sex machines. They're Yamaha. Filthy. Sex machines. Everything did come together in the end. When you think of an 80s computer geared towards sex machines, I've got to show you today. Yes, he started with the microphone on mute. Start as we mean to go on. Hello, everyone. Look, when I only stream monthly, I'm gonna forget to take the mute button off. How are we all doing, everyone? Mute, yes, the mute button, Mumbo. How are we all? It's good to see you all in chat. Let me know if the levels are too high, too low. I think I got it set up right. Good to see you, Paul, Stephen, Pillock, Doug at 10-minute Amiga Retrocast, Jake, Timothy. Hello, everyone. Baz, Mumbo, Reese, David, Custado. All the regulars are here. Naoki, my learned friend, bringing some class to the chat. And Amigos Retro Gaming. Hello. It's the usual format this month, but if you're new here, it's just a chance to hang out, chat, to listen to me fumble over my words, and just see what happens, really. It includes unboxing all of the donations and purchases that I've made this month, or at least most of them, unless I needed to open them urgently. So I've got them all on the desk over there, and we'll do some unboxing. We'll go over what's happened in the cave this month. We will look at your submitted videos on the subject of RPGs this month. Some good ones, I think. I genuinely haven't watched them, so I hope you've all behaved and used family-friendly language, but that's why we do this on the second channel. Yes, Russell, it's the Halifax Little Extra Club money box. Familiar to Brits of a certain age. Elmo's got his Halloween face mask on. We'll come back to the book. And also, the World Cup plays a part in today's stream. We'll come back to that. So, I hope you're all well. It's Halloween. We've completely not used the opportunity to make this a Halloween-themed stream. Partly because I didn't realise when I was planning it, and partly because there'll be plenty of other Halloween streams on YouTube. So we'll just keep it to the normal format. I am aware that here in the UK, we've had a hastily arranged announcement by the Prime Minister, which was going to happen at 4 p.m. It's now going to happen at 5 p.m, I believe, about what looks highly likely to be for us to go back into another lockdown for a month here in England, not in the UK, because Wales and Scotland have their own devolved plans. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I know that Dave is in the chat, and he's going to give me a little poke by direct message when we know what's happening, and we'll give you a little update on the stream, so we don't have to keep an eye on that. They usually waffle for about 45 minutes before they tell us what's happening, so I will pass the message on. Messenger to the Prime Minister. I know he rescheduled his 4 p.m. announcement because he knew I was streaming. Such is the the gravity of the RMC stream. Not unprecedented times. Anyway, let's have a look at what's been happening in the cave this month. Let's flick you over to the right screen. Over to the laptop. Good, that's working. No, I haven't got my Sinden light gun yet. Andy said he would like to bring one over in December, but we'll see what's happening with lockdown and other events in the cave. I've just realised I've got the preview of my own stream playing here, so I'm just going to stop it, if it will let me, just for the purpose of not eating up bandwidth. There we go. There's little differences that will make. Exactly, Stephen. Shut up, Boris. Neil is on. Yeah, and if we're locked down, I just won't end the stream. I'll just stay here for a month. So what was I doing? I was showing you what's going on what's happened in the cave this month. Okay, so here's the channel. I won't hold it against you if you don't watch every single video I release. Listen to every single podcast. Speaking of which, we'll start with that. You were listening to This Week in Retro if you were here for the... Oh, Mark Central. Happy Halloween to you too, sir. You can have a very special table jump. Thank you. You were listening to This Week in Retro on the hold screen. Now, if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to go and do that. Here it is. It's a podcast hosted by myself and John, who is Amigos Retro Gaming in the chat there today. And it's really coming along nicely. I'm really happy with how this is going. In the latest episode, you heard we were talking about a mini Pong, because everybody needs a mini Pong. Is anyone in the chat actually interested in buying a mini Pong machine? I gotta say, I'm not. Paul, you will get to see my cat today, don't worry. We talk about Atari opening a hotel. We talk about a new Commodore 64 game called Top Hole Golf, which you should check out. Very leaderboard in its style. And we talk about the Arcade Dreams documentary, which is filmed by none other than Amiga Bill, the Emmy Award-winning Amiga Bill. Lots of no's in the chat. No, not interested in a mini Pong. Thank you, Doug. I'm glad you're enjoying the podcast. It's evolved. I've got to say, if I'm being critical of it, if I go back and listen to the early ones and I listen to the later ones, I think John and I have really relaxed into it and we flow a lot better now. I think we got off to a strong start, but I think it's a bit more natural sounding now that we've got more used to working together, and I really do enjoy it. I expect John would agree with that in the chat. He says, hey, that's me. Now, over on the RMC channel, what have we had this month? Okay, so on the back end of last month, we had this video called Why Is It So Hard to Create My Dream 1996 PC? Now, this has turned out to be a really unique video on the channel. And I'll tell you why. Normally, when I release a video, you get this curve that comes out on day one of all the views. Everyone jumps on to watch it, and it goes up, and you hit the peak, and then it slowly comes down across the week, and then it just kind of flatlines and bumps along. I wouldn't say I've got much on my channel. That's not true. I do have evergreen content on my channel, but people really trump it. You know, you've got to come up with evergreen content for your YouTube channel. I've never seen content that's evergreen that really maintains high numbers in an evergreen way. It just kind of bumbles along. You do get views from all those videos, but you can never sustain the initial release. However, this Creating My Dream 1996 gaming PC, it's almost on a vertical. It's just up and up. It's done 170,000 views and it's refusing to slow down. And I think the reason for it is, I mentioned in the description both NVIDIA and ATI, and it's about video cards, and it came out just at the time that NVIDIA were announcing their new card, and now ATI are announcing their new card. So I just think I've, by coincidence, hit the right keywords, hit the right audience, and it's about to become, I reckon in the next month it will become the most popular video ever released on the channel. So learn what lessons you like from that. But I'm certainly very happy with it. Then we restored the sim racing wheel 4 weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. I can't tell you because I'm not logged in at the moment, Keith, at the Digital Orphanage. I'm in incognito. I can tell you that later if you ask me. Then we looked at the wonderful wedge-shaped PC and a couple of other Amstrads. Speaking of the Digital Orphanage, that wedge-shaped Amstrad computer that you see at the top right-hand corner, that's an IBM PC in a wedge, by the way. That was loaned from the Swindon Museum of Computing. So thank you again to the Digital Orphanage who volunteers there and has himself been doing live streams of cleaning machines. So if you like a trash to treasure, go and check out the Digital Orphanage channel and you can watch him live in a museum scrubbing computers. Yes, Custado, that is the PC200. And if you want to complete your Sinclair collection, it's very hard to get hold of, very expensive. And like all of the most expensive collectible machines, it's pretty crap. Hence, it didn't sell very well, hence it's rare, and therefore it cost a lot of money to get hold of one. So it was a fun machine to look at, though. And then we come on to the big one, Troubling Times at the Cave, which was a video of me telling you all about how I have to move. And I've got some good news, I hope, on that front, which we'll talk about immediately after this bit. We talked about that. What else did we talk about? Oh, the name change, of course. The small matter of changing the channel name. Drama, says TDO, yeah. So the channel is now RMC. Everything is /RMC Retro. I've got RMC The Cave because The Cave is still very much a part of it, but it's just RMC. If you go by the comment section alone on that video, you will think that I've committed YouTube suicide. There's a lot of hate in there. But actions always speak louder than words on these things. And what has happened as a result of that, overnight, 100 new patrons signed up. 100 patrons. It was incredible. Over the week, 150 patrons signed up. We're at about 960 patrons. So we are fast approaching the dream that every YouTuber has of 1,000 patrons. Cannot wait. If we can get there, it would be incredible. If you want to sign up, patreon.com/ I nearly said Retro Man Cave. Patreon.com / RMC Retro. If you can give me a push to try and get to those 1,000 patrons, it would be incredible. So, as I say, actions speak louder than words. It was a decision that I made entirely myself. There was no pressure to do it. If you read those comments, you would think I had buckled to... I had to look up a word, SJWs. Didn't even know what that meant, but it's a word, an acronym that's used a lot. Apparently it stands for Social Justice Warriors. Anyway, the result was more subscribers, more patrons, and we moved on very quickly to getting back to what I love doing, which is poking old computers and cleaning them and making videos. We moved on. Then we did the Yamaha music computers, again with huge thanks to the Digital Orphanage, because one of the machines in that video and one of the keyboards came from the Swindon Museum of Computing. So it's really nice that we've got this relationship with the museum and that they're willing to let us share those machines and get them out there. And I would encourage anyone, as soon as the museum opens again, whenever that will be, to come on down to Swindon and check out the museum. Then we had a 3D printer drag race. Not a particularly popular video. I mean, 10,000 views in one day. By the standards of my other videos, not particularly popular. I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there who would kill for those kind of numbers. Yeah, it's a review video, isn't it? And unless you're interested in that content, you're not going to watch it. So there we go. Coming up on future videos, the patrons are already watching a 2-hour interview with Mark Ferrari, which you may think sounds like a lot, but boy does it go quickly. It's probably one of my favourite interviews. It's up there with Richard Garriott as one of my favourite interviews, and I hope you enjoy that. We've also got had Mark fix his stuff over in the cave this week, and you don't need to see that screen anymore, do you? Where am I? Hello. Yeah, Mark Fix's stuff came over to the cave this week, and we must have dropped the best part of £500 on mods and upgrades to a Sega Dreamcast. We've created our ultimate Dreamcast. And you're going to see that next week, patrons, public the week after. And then after that, it's the Amiga 600. I've started filming my attempt to become friends with the Amiga 600. You all know on the channel, from comments I've made on videos, that I ain't friends with the Amiga 600. I hated it when it came out. We've got some making up to do, and I'm going to see if I can do that while exploring the history of the machine. I see Mean Machine Dean there is in chat. He loves his Amiga 600. So hopefully he can help me to learn to love it. Could you learn to love me, Neil? I'll do my best. Nobody likes the A600, says Russell. So that's what's been going on in the channel. Is there anything else to tell you? Oh yeah, speaking of the Mark Ferrari interview, if you haven't watched it yet, everyone should check out On a Retro Tip. Pete On a Retro Tip on YouTube. He made a 30-year documentary on Monkey Island, The Secret of Monkey Island, because it's 30 years old this month. And he interviews Mark Ferrari there, as well as all the other development team on The Secret of Monkey Island. And honestly, it's the best video you'll find, not just on YouTube, but anywhere on the subject. So do go and check it out. That's On a Retro Tip. Yeah, see, some of you have seen it. Really good job from Pete. Oh, behave, Laura, behave. Did I not mention the MSX Machines video? The MSX Machine video was Banjo Guy Ollie. Yes, he needs a shout out. Banjo Guy Ollie made that music video, and it's over on his channel. And I was crying with laughter. He DM'd it to me privately. He obviously wanted to test the water and make sure I was okay with it. Of course I was. I told him to get that out there as quickly as possible. Show the world. I ain't afraid of laughing at myself. Okay, so let's talk about the new cave, and then we'll come on to your videos. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Right. Here's the good news. For those who don't know, the landlord here has applied to turn this cave and all the offices above it into residential flats. As a result, I was forced to find another cave. However, I was kind of looking already. I have started to outgrow this, so I was already looking for 2021. So, although that was a surprise, it wasn't a shock. Now, I've been looking for some time, and the good news is, boy, do I hate dealing with estate agents. Sorry if anyone out there is an estate agent, but I just can't handle it. So it was wonderful when one of you, a viewer, approached me and said, might have a space that I can rent out to you. It was very refreshing to go and view a space with somebody who wasn't a landlord. Oh, enjoyed it so much. And not only was it a suitable space, it's an incredible space. Now, I'm showing you this tentatively because it's all been verbally agreed, but because he's not a landlord and this space hasn't been rented out before, all of the documents have got to be drawn up by the solicitor. Maybe my learned friend there in chat is doing it for us now. So as soon as the documentation comes through and I sign it, it's a done deal. So, you know, this is sort of 90% sure this is going to happen, and I'm going to show you the place now. Let me bring it up on the screen and then I'll change the scene. New cave, okay. I'm just going to bring the picture up on the screen. There are no words really to describe it. Boom. Look at that. This is a 300-year-old industrial mill. It's about a 30-minute drive for me, which is not too bad. Well, not too bad. I would drive for 2 hours to get to this place. Now, the cave will be the top floor, the entire top floor. I've got some more pictures. I've got a video to show you as well. Here's the other side of it. So we're talking about this top floor. I say the entire top floor. It's like all of it except for a corner, which we have the option to hopefully grow into should we need to in future. But, you know, as much as we could on budget. And a lot of the other parts of the building are empty should we need to rent more space for storage and whatnot. Are you liking it so far? Yes, Craig, there is parking there. And for those who've been following this, part of the ambition of this move is to open it up so that, not that we have a public museum, but so that we can have private arranged gatherings maybe once a month, so you guys can come and check it out. And if you're too far away to check it out, we'll stream those gatherings or record them. Okay, so here's a very shaky video of the floor. Let's give you a feel for it. So this area here at this end of the room will be the new lab. It's all going to be cleared out of what's in there, by the way. So that will be the lab area. I'll have to do something about the window at the back, otherwise we'll have lots of backlight when we're filming, but we'll figure that out. There's your first view of it. So what you can see here, it goes back beyond those blue temporary partitions. You've got all these lovely steel girders and things up in the roof, beams, which we can make a feature of. In total, we're looking at 6 to 7 times the size of the current cave. Yeah, there's a Pong table there, Richard. It is huge. I'm planning on building 4 sets. So we'll have the existing Apple Crate set, we'll have the lab, and then we'll let that carry on. 2 more sets. And in those 2 sets, we'll make them interchangeable so we can have like an 80s bedroom, a 90s bedroom, an office, whatever. But we'll build that up slowly over time. These things all cost money. So you can see there's lots of stuff that needs to be cleared out. Who knows, maybe we'll be able to buy a couple of cheap tables out of the whole thing. And then if we look over, we can take a look back. Focus. Come on. Loads of space, right? I'm not sure we'll be allowed to do sleepovers. But if you hide and I don't see you before I lock up, you'll get away with it. Just don't move in case you set the alarms off. So there's lots of nice features, and then it also comes with this office. So this will be my editing office. I'll make a sound booth in here, do the podcasts in here. So I've got my own little office there. The same kind of internet as I've got here, so not too bad. There we go. I'll stop it there because we're going into parts of the other, the existing company's office. But I hope hope first impressions are good for you. We're going to be able to do so much. The problem is now I'm thinking about all this space, and I'm thinking I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to build this set. I'm thinking about tens of thousands of pounds worth of work, and we just can't do that. What we've got to do is we've got to get in there, we've got to build the like-for-like set so we can just carry on as normal, and then slowly we'll buy all the other bits and we'll build it out. But what we can do immediately is I can take all of the trash to treasure machines, I can set them up in a museum display, and they can just be there, and I can just sit on them and use them at any point. It's amazing, isn't it? It feels like fate, Peter. I really hope that this comes through, but it feels like it was meant to be. Here's hoping. How much will this set you back compared to the current place? It will cost more, but that's the beauty of this, the response to the video I put out about it, where we got these extra 150 patrons. Like I said in that video, it's not like you become a patron and I put all of that money straight in my pocket. I'm investing in, this. So hopefully the support will stick around. We'll build on it. I think the cameraman's falling over with excitement there. So that's where we are with the new cave. I'll talk more about that later. What else is? Let's get onto your videos. I've got so much to talk about, but let's get onto your videos on the subject of RPGs. And you just know we're going to start with Rich this week. I normally leave him to the end, but I think we should go straight in with Richard. So these are the video submissions of patrons, the official cave dwellers. We've got 6 of them this week. 90 seconds is the limit of how long a video can be. And it's on the topic of role-playing games. So if there's something that... yes, it is nice, TDO, yeah. So if you want to share RPGs, your favourite retro RPGs, let me know in the chat. Let's take the music down. Let's bring up the computer. Right, let's hope I don't blow anyone's ears off. Here we go. If you haven't seen Richard's videos before, brace yourselves.
Having read a review for the ST version of Dungeon Master in the CNVG...
Oh no, we've come in halfway through the video. Here we go. Rich, role-playing games.
Having read a review for the ST version of Dungeon Master in the CNVG back in April of '88, I was excited because the graphics looked amazing, but at the time I didn't know what an RPG was. Also, I only had an Amiga, which wasn't such...
Hang on. What did that say on your... there's so much goes on in Richard's videos. What did it say on his door?
In the CNVG back in April of '88, I was excited because the graphics looked amazing.
Reality Manipulation Center. That's what RMC stands for now.
Amazing. But at the time I didn't know what an RPG was. Also, I only had an Amiga, which wasn't such a great gaming choice.
Sorry to keep stopping the video, but there was a picture of me and Lily on the wall. For a split second. I did see that, Richard.
At the time. I had to wait another year before a review appeared for the Amiga version in ACE, Advanced Computer Entertainment Mag. This was stating that the game was as good as the ST version. I knew I was destined to take a trip down to the dark unknown, but after many trips to John Menzies studiously scanning the shelves, I knew I had to take a different route. After a touch of pleading with my mum, I was allowed to borrow her access card, and parting with my hard-earned paper round money, I used her flexible friend. I filled out the mail order form to purchase the game from either Special Reserve or Castle Computing, I can't remember which.
Oh, I bought so much from Special Reserve. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Robo. I've just hidden the chat on the screen so we can see the video. Special Reserve was a great mail order place. I remember buying Power Drift using postal orders. I had to get down the post office to buy postal orders and send off for it. Loved Special Reserve.
I waited anxiously for a couple of long weeks for it to turn up. Returning home after completing my paper round one Friday morning, I was excited to see a brown paper wrapped parcel on the doorstep. I mysteriously felt too ill to venture to school that day. I spent all day in my bedroom and forewent lunch and even tea.
Dave, Rich, what was your tactic for getting a day off school like that? Did you have a tactic? I'll tell you what mine was. If I got a new game and I needed a day off school, right? Get a cup of tea for your breakfast when you're a kid. Hold that cup of tea to your head. Mum, I don't feel well. Oh, let me take your temperature. Oh, you do feel hot. Yeah, you better stay home today. Okay, Mum. A whole day of video games.
Mum was genuinely concerned. She didn't know I was playing games at the time. Playing in my darkened room, the sound effects were eerily good. They gave you pre-warning that an encounter was likely to happen, and this was very novel at the time. There were times when turning a corner and being faced with a foe genuinely caused me to jump, an experience that was only replicated years later by Alien vs Predator on the Atari Jaguar.
You have to excuse me now. It's my favourite type of role-playing game. Being Neil, the wife. Back to Neil in the studio.
He managed to get the tape measure in there, and the murder gloves, and the Scotch egg, and the dysentery mug, and a spooky doll. That must be a Halloween edition. Just a random doll at the back there. Dungeon Master. I think I've got it on the shelf here. Let me just check. Bear with. Where is he? I'm sure it's here somewhere. Am I being blind? Has somebody stolen it? I'm sure it's here. Oh, there it is. It's behind Star Raiders. There we go. There we go. I knew I had it. Here you go, Rich. I don't... Is this the copy you've got? Because I know this is a rarer Psygnosis release. Is this the one you've got? Have you still got your original copy, Rich? And it also comes with a sequel called Chaos Strikes Back. Oh, you had the first edition. Okay. There we go. Oh, Dave coming in strong with the facts. The Psygnosis one was 1991. Okay, let's crack on. We've got lots of videos to get through. Next, it's My Learned Friend. What have you got?
I was going
to
take the chance to
talk
about Zelda, A Link to the
Hang on, I should make sure I'm actually on the right screen so you can watch it. Amateur hour. There we go. Let's go again.
I was going to take the chance to talk about Zelda, A Link to the Past on the subject of RPGs. Oh boy, wasn't the internet quick to persuade me that in fact it's not an RPG at all. And it seems there's a massive debate about what is and isn't an RPG, and there are whole subgenres. JRPGs, action RPGs, MMORPGs.
Oh god, we're going down the rabbit hole. What is Zelda if it's not an RPG?
Roguelikes and all sorts of things in between, and lots of debate about all of them. After that, my thoughts had drifted from Zelda, and I thought, sod it. I'm just going to wax lyrical about a game I discovered recently. It's coming up to 15 years old, and I just think more people need to know about it. This is Akami, released by Capcom in early 2006 for PS2 and Wii. It had a recent impressive HD update for all formats, and it can be picked up for comparative peanuts at the minute. And it is, by common consent, an action RPG.
I love the cel-shaded style. I was playing Jet Grind Radio on the Dreamcast this week after we upgraded it. And I swear that game looks like it could be on a PlayStation 3. The cel-shading technique holds up so well.
You play as Amaterasu, a goddess in the form of a white wolf, blessed with celestial power and, well, a celestial paintbrush. And it is just fabulous, a personification of games as an art form. The art style has that sense of Japanese ink illustrations with a soundtrack suitably inspired by classical Japanese works. And the best thing? It's fun. And that's a quality that seems to have been forgotten by a lot of modern game makers. And with that, back to Neil in the studio.
Yeah, it's a fine balance, isn't it? It's so easy for an RPG to become a grind and forget that it's supposed to be fun. That looks lovely. I need to try that. I'll put it on the list, the ever-growing list. Quick poll in chat. Is Zelda an RPG? Yes or no? Go. I should really implement some kind of poll facility, shouldn't I? Yes, no. Amigos has a very strong view on this. Yes. Close enough, kind of. Yes. Some of them. Amigos, would you like to expand? If it's not an RPG, what is Zelda? Oh, we got a Wii. Which Zelda? The Legend of Zelda on the Super Nintendo. Streamlabs has good polling. Okay, I won't spend half the stream learning how to set it up, but I'll try and get that set up for next time. Dick Dawson, thank you. Well, I think it's pretty unanimous. Everyone says it's an RPG. Most people, sorry, not everyone. It is an action-adventure game with some RPG elements, says 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast. Amiga says you need to have statistics in an RPG, hit points. You don't have that in Legend of Zelda. So that's what defines it, is that you need to have hit points. TDO says, I'm playing a role in every game. Right, next video. Who have we got? Naoki, let's see what you got.
Hello all. From roles to stats, characters you meet, and fateful decisions, RPGs are like giving you a second life. I mean, when you consider it, I guess they are like real life. I mean, we have our own characters. We choose responses out of many that we could say. We all apply for and have loads of job roles and descriptions.
I need to go back and read that. Hang on, what have we got on the table? We've got the tape measure. We've got some B Blonde for retro brighting. We've got Gauntlet. We've got a mini disc player. And actually, the mini discs next to it, I sent to Naoki some retro mini discs, which I had because I don't have a mini disc player. So I sent them over to him. I don't know what acrylic paint. Okay, let's continue.
Is life really just a game? Are we perpetually stuck in a game world?
What is life really? Are we being watched? How can we escape? Do we make our own choices? Where do we go? Where do we go?
That's good.
Where do we go? Are we really in control? Do we make our own choices? What is the main quest?
Is this the real life? Or is this an RPG?
Wait, we can't do this. What do you mean? You're going to get in copyright strikes. Well, it's a parody, isn't it? You need to tell them that. He even told us not to do it. Oh, we already filmed it. What? We already filmed it?
Yes, I did have this conversation with Naoki. He had the Queen music on here, and he asked me if it would be okay, and I said, probably not. Probably not. So this, he's used my response and run with it.
What are we going to do with it? Well, upload it to Blurbs then. Oh yes, for all the one subscriber to see. Well, upload it to the main channel. You're not going to lose any revenue. You don't make any. Dude. Uncool.
Copyright? What do you mean copyright? That's outrageous. I got dressed up and everything.
Reese.
I'm sorry, Reese. You know I can't upload that.
Drats!
Oh no, I didn't know Reese was involved. That's it. Well, I've clearly ruined Naoki's video this week. I'm sorry, everyone. Reese, looking like Brian May with your jacket on. I'm sorry. Can I watch the video privately? Do I still get to see it? Sorry. So what was the choice of game anyway? Was there a game choice? Hang on.
Hello.
Okay, we had The Witcher and we had World of Warcraft. We didn't really talk about it. So there we go. Right, moving on. We've got Tim Wright. Let's see what Tim's got for us. And if you're... Oh, Tim's in the chat. Hello, Tim.
My choice of RPG is a box set I bought 25 years ago, and then some, and have never played.
Oh, now we're talking. Ultima. Just about £100 if you want to buy this box set now, if not more. Don't get me started on the price of Ultima. But we've got the tape measure. We've got 2 tape measures there. Wonderful start.
It's the Ultima Trilogy 2. It's for the PC. And I was far too young and attention deficit disorder addled to give it the time of day. It intimidated me too much. I should probably actually get around to playing it now that I'm old and have a better
You're telling me you've got this and you've never played it?
Here are all the lovely discs coming out of the box.
Oh, they're the same.
Still works.
Could be said about 90% of the things I own.
Call that. Lots of ephemera. Alerts for DOS users.
Do we have the maps?
A player reference card, information about all the games, and absolutely no page count.
Oh, that's disappointing. You'll have to manually count them.
Unfortunately, we don't need to worry about that because also included in the box. Yes, get on with it. is this great big thing, full of lore and copy protection. 128 pages.
So there's the map. It's not the cloth map, it's a paper map. Oh, that's interesting. So it's the same map for all 3 games, because the map does change in Ultima across different games, but for that trilogy it's the same map, so you just need the one. They could have at least given you the cloth one, come on. But such a familiar map. I stared at that thing so long on my wall.
Also included advertising, cardboard map, and a portent of doom about Electronic Arts. So I should probably actually get around to playing these sometime in the next 25 years.
It's Ultima 6, that one.
While I'm thinking about that, back to Neil in the studio.
And there's Lord British. Well, it's a fine choice. We couldn't have a discussion about RPGs without Ultima appearing. And you knew if you showed Ultima I would make you my favourite video of the week. You all knew that. Hello, Scott. I didn't have you down as an Ultima fan, Scott. But that's good to know. So what else has been going on in the chat? I have a friend who still plays the online version. Yeah, Ultima Online is still going. There's fan-run servers. Ultima 4, I remember this from my Apple II days. Yeah, so Richard Garriott was an Apple II man. We've got that FM synth mumbo. You have to, yeah. 6 and 7 are my favourite too, for sure. Never played any of the Ultima games, says Russell. It's difficult to go back and play them now because RPGs have evolved. They've taken the ideas and run with them, and it feels like a backward step now. So I love them so much because they feel familiar. They feel like a second home that I spent so much time in as a kid. To go back without that familiarity, you'll probably just see a game that feels a bit weak compared to modern RPGs, but there's an engine called Exalt that you can get, and that lets you play the game, Ultima 7 at least, and I think 6, on a modern PC, just ripping the game files, and allows you to play it on a modern PC and scales up the resolution and all that stuff. You can even take the voice files from what's the Japanese version? Come on, Neil. PCF? No, not the PCFX. Anyway, there's a Japanese release that has English voice acting files, and you can kind of rip it and merge it with another version of the game using Exalt. So it's kind of cool. And it's not about the graphics, Matthew. It's about the story. Although Ultima 7 had great graphics. Right, we've got 2 more. Let's see what Arthur has for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present you a game that I believe many of you, especially Amiga and Atari fans, are already familiar with.
90% of our audience.
2, Messengers of Doom. After the great success of the first in the series, Ishar, Legend of the Fortress, the company almost immediately began working on a sequel.
We had a lot of games like this on the Amiga, I imagine on the Atari too. The dungeon crawlers, you know, with the little controls in the top right that you click on and your team at the bottom. But this looks particularly well drawn. I'm liking the art on this one.
There are many improvements compared to the previous installment of the game in terms of graphics, music, and other aspects of the gameplay. The game was praised for its realism, in-game music, sound effects, and exceptional graphics. It was also one of the very first games to introduce day and night cycle. The combat system, however, is quite poor, and there is very little interaction with NPCs. Some puzzles are very hard to find, and the main...
There's a huge amount going on that control panel, aren't there? You gotta know what all those icons are.
quest seems impossible to complete. The game leaves so much for your imagination, it also doesn't hold your hand, leaving you with no clue where to go and what to do. Therefore, for me, the game seems a bit unfinished. But again, I think the graphics were spectacular, and even today, the game is just pretty.
There's a man there dressed as an Ewok. What's going on there? What's going on with this guy here? But yeah, look at all these buttons. What do they all do? Obviously, that's your directions, and you've got your save button, but there's so much going on.
I love the game for being beautiful and atmospheric, state of the art. I recommend it to anyone wishing for a quirky twist of a beautiful classic RPG adventure.
It's from the Star Wars Christmas special. That looks like it looks like a nice game. I'm not going to rush out and play it just because you said, it feels a bit unfinished. Maybe I'll load it up quickly at some point and have a little play with it. But looks interesting. Alex says, I hope someone picked a Might and Magic and Wizardry game. Well, if they didn't, Alex, you need to send the video in yourself. Need to make that happen. We're going to finish up with Mark today. Let's see what Mark with the C has got for us. Oh, you sounded great, Arthur. Don't you worry about that.
Hi, Cave Dwellers. This month's theme is RPGs.
So here's our good friend Mark with a C, with his boxed cartoon classics, with his Amiga 1200 desktop dynamite there, his Game Boys. We did a retro road trip to Mark's place, so if you want to see all of his stuff, look through my channel for the retro road trips, and you'll see his house. I can't tell from that angle if he's had a move around since I visited, but it's fascinating to pick out what he's got on his shelves. And a Jupiter Ace behind him, just as a wall decoration, as you do.
This is one of my favourite genres to play, and I thought today I'd share with you my top 5 RPGs that I've played. So to start the list off, at number 5, I thought I'd choose a PC game, and that is Diablo 2. This comes with the Lord of Destruction expansion set. These are my original copies actually, and I played this to death when it first came out. It's a great kind of hack and slash action RPG.
Yeah, when games like Diablo and Baldur's Gate and all of those games came out, Ultima didn't stand a chance against them. They just took all of those concepts and ran with them, and there was no answer back from Ultima.
By Blizzard. Yeah, check it out. Coming in at number 4, this is starting off with the Nintendo titles. I thought I'd choose
he loves
Zelda
his
Link's
Nintendos.
Awakening. I played this for the first time this year.
But it's not an RPG, is it?
I found it fantastic storyline, really good.
Zelda's not an RPG.
Probably not the hardest RPG out there, but it's well worth your time.
They didn't improve on the open world, Merc, so did they not? I do remember Baldur's Gate. You kind of had flickbook scenes, I guess, that you went through to, and then they scrolled a bit, and then they flicked into the next scene. And there was a lot of retracing your steps to come back through them. So it wasn't, yeah, you're right, it wasn't as open world in that example. It was beautifully drawn, though.
At number 3. I don't think any list of RPGs can really be taken seriously without a Pokemon game in there. So I've chosen Pokemon Crystal for Game Boy Color.
Is Pokemon an RPG? If you're telling me that Zelda is not an RPG, is Pokemon an RPG? I guess it has the stats, doesn't it? It has the hit points and all of that stuff that you defined an RPG by.
Again, I played this for the first time last year. Or maybe even the year before, I can't remember. But it was a really good title. Keeps you kind of involved in the storyline. And I personally think this is probably the best of the franchise. Number 2.
Oh, did you see that casual turn? Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Let's get that turn again.
Kind of involved in the storyline. And I personally think this is probably the best
Here it
of
comes.
the franchise.
Here it comes. Oh, hi there.
Number 2 on my list is a Super Nintendo title, and this one is Chrono Trigger.
Oh, I do love this.
It's popular for a reason. It comes in on every top 10 best RPG list ever. It's no wonder why. It's a fantastic game. It's got time travel, good battles. Check it out.
Good choice. Check it out.
And at number 1 is a game we've been looking for a long time. and it's on the Super Nintendo, and it's Earthbound.
Oh, of course, you were always going to choose this, Mark. I know your love for this game.
If you've not played it, just go and give it
Just
a go.
play it.
It's a bizarre game. Really, really good fun. Strange storyline, strange characters. It's just bizarre, but really, really good fun. And I think for anyone that's not played it before, it is worth checking out. So give it a go.
Great game. And how much would you pay for that now, Mark, boxed? And is that real, or am I remembering, is that a reproduction box that you have? I can't remember now. But I think it's like the Ultimas, if not more expensive to collect. There it is on its system, the Commodore 64.
So that concludes my list.
Oh, he's got the glasses on now for the fireside chat. You're all over this, Mark.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll play some of these games in the future as well. Back to you, Neil, in the studio.
Oh, yes. Give him a job. Give him a job on RMC, Mark. You're going to be our new presenter. Wonderfully done. Thank you to everyone who submitted videos. You guys go to so much effort to squeeze more in 90 seconds than I sometimes do in an entire episode. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it. We do need to think about what the topic will be for next month. So next month will be the end of November. Should we decide now? Have we got any suggestions? And also in the chat, are there any RPGs that you would have liked to have seen in there that didn't appear? My choice, you all know, Ultima 7. Simple as that. What is the Edge browser, Gubbins? Oh, I should probably switch you over to the other scene. Hi. Nulani says, I would have added Terranigma, Baldur's Gate, Skyrim, Goldbox, and Eye of the Beholder, and Captive. Dave loves his gold. I think Dave's got the whole set of Goldbox games, haven't you? Knights of the Old Republic, says Baz. My learned friend. I'm very tempted by that one. Arcade Racing, says Costado. Matthew wants RPGs again. Space-based games that are not elite. Phantasy Star games. Oh, Skyrim and Morrowind, yeah. Surprised they didn't come up. Grim Fandango is not an RPG, no. Knights of the Old Republic, Secret of Mana, Fairy Tale. Yeah. Now, I'm very tempted to go with my learned friend's suggestion of point-and-click adventures next month, but I think about 4 of you have said racing games, so there seems to be a thirst for the racing games. Is that where we're going? Any more suggestions? I think we're going racing games, yeah. Point and racing games. Point and click racing games. Okay, racing games it is. Decided. And make of the word racing what you will. It doesn't have to be car racing. Anything race. I was going to say racy. That would be dangerous. Not racy games. Racing games. I will put a post out on Patreon so that you'll see how to submit and what the rules are. Get thinking. And Big Red Racing, yeah. Oh, don't spoil the surprise. Keep your suggestions to yourself. Make the videos. Get them in, and we'll look forward to some racing games. Right, we're already like nearly an hour in, 45 minutes in, so we need to crack on. What else have I got to talk to you about today? Let's talk quickly about the book. It's here. It's here. I'll give you a close-up when we go over to the desk. But yesterday, yesterday, this arrived. I'm in my casual clothes because I knew there'd be a lot of box lifting. Let's take you over to the other scene. What arrived was 3 pallets like this, and it was raining, and there was a slope into my garage that the pallet truck wouldn't go up, so I had to very quickly and carefully get them all out before they got rained on. 2,250 books arrived. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is the Retro Tea Break book, which I kickstarted, and I promised that I would deliver them in November, so we are on target to get them delivered on time. There they are, going into the garage. That's not all of them. 168 boxes, 14 books per box, I think it was. I was worried whether or not they would actually fit in the garage, but thankfully they did. They were, of course, inspected by Gizmo. There she is, making sure they're all in order. And there she is, signing them for me. I've trained her to sign them. Why didn't you build a throne? I think that's all the pictures, yeah. So I'm really, really pleased that it's arrived. Let's come back to the main desk. So if you backed the book, you will be receiving it very soon. The first hurdle, I guess, is 930 books, because that's how many books were ordered that don't need to be signed and didn't have the extra collector's cards that come with it. I'll show you them as well. So what I want to do is get that batch out done first. Yesterday, I managed to wrap and pack 500 of them. So by the end of tomorrow, I expect to have 930 packed. And then I'll arrange a collection in the week, and the first ones will go out. And then the next job is to sign, I think 540 of them I need to sign. I'm going to get a sore wrist. And then there's mugs to go out, and then there's custom cards. But yeah, we'll crack it. We'll get through there. A lot of work, but well worth it. So that's the book. The other thing you should be aware of is the calendar. Let me show you the calendar. This is this year's charity calendar, following the success of last year's. We raised £3,000 last year. 100% of the profit went to Bluebell Wood Children's Hospice. This year, 100% of the profit again, thanks to the incredible generosity of One Click Print, who are helping me to make this. Thank you, Dave, for posting the link, and Richard. 100% of the profit is going to... come on, Neil. My head's gone blank. Heels of Malmesbury. Heels are a local charity who they help families who have fallen on hard times, particularly at the moment children in poverty, to help feed them. Incredibly, we have to do that in a first world country, but that's what the money's going towards. And also the elderly who are in fuel poverty, so they can't afford the heating bill in the winter, got to keep them warm. And also to stop families falling into that horrible trap of payday loans that they can't get out of. If they just need a little bit of help through a month to get back on their feet, that's what it's going to. So the goal is to beat £3,000 that we raised last year. And we're about halfway there in a week. So we're really smashing it. Here's the calendar. It features pictures of a game and a system. Can I make that bigger? Yeah, system and game was the theme for this year. The front cover is a submission from Amigos Retro Gaming. I really liked that one, John, so thank you for sending that in. That's his Atari 1200 XL, I believe, and a selection of games. There's a submission there of an Atari STE from Woz, who is... There's no way Woz isn't going to make it into the calendar. He's a blooming art director and photographer. He's incapable of taking a bad photo. A lovely Tandy there by Mr. Lurch submitted that photo. The monitor has a bit of tape on and the word Tandy. Yeah, I'm sure it's authentic. Oh, and that's actually a submission from Mark, who you just saw in the video with his top 5. Mark and his Game Boy. And also, where possible, I know this looks a bit small, but it's perfectly legible on the actual thing. Where possible, I've included other people's photos that kind of match the theme. So we've got Retrograde Scene and Mean Machine Dean's photos in there. Dean, yours was so close to being the main Game Boy photo, but come on. I don't think you'll argue with that. It's a great photo. Dave, if you want to be the model for a naked computer calendar, then be my guest. We'll make that happen next year. System and Dave will be the theme. Oh, there's one from another chap called Mark. Tatung Einstein, which I happen to know when he got it, it wasn't working. I think there was a memory error on it, so he took the time to fix that up. It's looking lovely there. So there we go. If you should happen to want to purchase this, it's just £7.99 plus postage. And as I said, thanks to the generosity of oneclickprint.com, 100% of that £7.99. One caveat, minus any Etsy processing fees, will go to the charity. And actually last year, I think we were about £200 short of £3,000, so I topped it up with my own donation. So at the end of the day, when we round it up, those payment processing fees will probably go to them as well, because I'll round it up and cover it. So as much money as possible to the charity. Good. And again, thank you for posting the links. Go buy the calendar. Let's move on. Let's do our unboxing. We're going to go and unbox everything that's come to the cave this month. And when we come back, Stog has organised an RMC Sensible Soccer tournament over on the Discord channel. And I am scheduled to play Reese. So after we've done the unboxing, we'll get Reese on the voice chat. And we'll have a live head-to-head for my go on the tournament and see if we make it to the next round. We'll only play one game. I won't play the whole tournament if I happen to beat Reese, which is highly unlikely. Yes, the Sensible Soccer Challenge, Dave. So we'll have a bit of live head-to-head on the Amiga Live service. But let's go and do some unboxing. And in order to do that, I need to go and move a cable to the other camera. So just bear with me. And I'll be with you in 30 seconds. Hopefully that music is at the right volume for when I get over there. Right, here I come. Make sure I've got my chat with me. Can you hear me? Sorry, pressed the wrong button. Let me get the chat up. Oh, I'll play myself back.
Let me get the chat.
There we go. Okay. I've got the chat. I think I've got the chat. Can you just give me a everything's good in the chat if you can hear me? I'll have a swig of water. All good, all good, all good, all good, good. Right, let's bring the table up a bit. So before we get into the boxes for this week, I'll give you a close-up of the book. Yeah, you can see my tablet, that's fine. Here it is, the final book with the lovely embossed logo there. We've got the built-in ribbon, which is a nice touch. Hopefully you can see the binding there. It's got that lovely red and white binding. I don't know if we can see it. Why am I showing it to the microphone? Show it to the cameraman. There you go, you can see that. Open it up. There it is. You've got the little pixel art pictures from Stu Cambridge of each guest. The timelines of things we talk about. There are black and white pictures throughout, and then there is a center section of color images. I like that one. Francois Lyonnais doing his Captain Blood finger. Can I flick through every page? And then in the middle you've got all of those pixel things, and you've got a fold-out timeline of some of the games discussed. So just so you can put in context when people were making games. Page count. We can do a page count. 413 pages. And there are the backers there. Their names in the back. So there we go. I hope you enjoy it if you backed it, and I hope you enjoy it enough to enable me to do another one, because I absolutely loved making this thing. How many blanks at the end? 1, 2. This page is intentionally blank. 3, 4. 3, 4, 4. The reason being, the way that a book is bound, I discovered in this particular example, it had to be in multiples of 24, I think, because each 24 pages are kind of put together and bound as one. It was weird. It was an interesting thing to find out. And it involved moving a lot of things about to fit within 24. Anyway, nicely done. Used to make books like that, says Dave. Good. It's good that it was appreciated by an expert. And of course, if you backed it with the collector's cards, you get a card of all the guests. And if you backed it with your own commission, then you get a set of cards like this with your own portrait on. There we go. Gotta catch 'em all. I do not interview myself, Chris. Maybe I'll try that one day. Oh, don't start with the top trumps again. Right, let's smash through these things. These are things that either have been donated to me or that I've bought and didn't need to open immediately. So just new stuff coming into the cave. And this one came courtesy of Mark Fix's Stuff. Well, it came courtesy of the people who make it via Mark Fix's Stuff, and I feel like I'm cheating. I feel like I'm cheating because they're joysticks. Let me move the mic there. And they're not monster joysticks. Remember, monsterjoysticks.com for all of your joystick needs. But here's a new type of joystick that's come on the market. Actually, it's in a different form to the ones that Monster make. So it's not really in. Monster make more of an arcade style joystick, and this. Oh, somebody's guessed it there. Castado has guessed it. This is the new Arcade R joystick. These are Competition Pro style joysticks, brand new Competition Pro style joysticks. Or Zip Stick, I would say more Comp Pro, but they're pretty nice, aren't they? Retroradionics.co.uk, the Arcade R stick. There's quite a long throw on them, which makes it feel quite different to an arcade stick, because there's usually a bit of a shorter throw, but actually that longer throw is authentic to how I remember the old 8-bit micro sticks being. They were a bit, I don't want to say sloppy, because there's definite tactile lovely feel to the switches. There's just a slightly longer throw. Nice buttons, a couple of buttons at the front as well. Oh, that must be like an auto fire or something. D9. So yeah, you could use it on a C64. So that's a nice stick, right? Decent quality, yeah. We don't like that, do we, Dave? We don't like that. And I've got a couple of other colours in here. A metallic blue ball. And a translucent blue stick. That's nice. That's a nice one. Yeah, they'll work on the Amiga. I imagine it's just the Amstrad it probably doesn't work on without some kind of adapter. I think they're about £30. Retroradionics.co.uk. And this one is quite cool. This is a sort of orange translucent one, and I like it because I have a Competition Pro in exactly the same colour, albeit with a red shaft, not a black one. Well, a silver shaft and a black top. Yeah, nice choice of colours, and they're not 3D printed. These are proper mouldings. These must have cost an absolute fortune to make. See the stick in there. Where to get these? Retroradionics.co.uk. Yeah, www.retroradionics.co.uk. Right, so thank you to them for sending them over via Mark Fix's Stuff. In fact, if you want a full review, Mark Fix's Stuff on YouTube has reviewed the sticks, so well worth a look. Oh, and Dave's posted another link there to ZX Renew, so I'm sure they all come from the same source. Maybe ZX Renew sell them via Retro Radionics. And Mark Fix's Stuff talks about the possible mods. Behave, Chris. Next up, is it a Ladybird drone? There's only one way to find out. And I hope if you sent this, if it's not something I bought myself, I hope you included your name in the box. If not, I do apologise if I don't say your name. I will have thanked you personally via DM, but it's impossible for me to remember exactly who sent what, when it arrived a month ago. It's not me being unappreciative. And if you're in the chat and you sent this, do shout. Oh goody, we've got some newspaper in here. This person, we've got an article on examining spark plugs and DIY servicing a Seat Ibiza 1.4 TDI. If anyone needs any help with that, let me know. This is Car Mechanics magazine from February 2020. Oh, cool. Yes. I remember. It's an Amstrad notepad computer with power supply. That Amstrad NC100 with the manual as well. Hotline support 0891. That's going to cost you how much a minute? 48 pence per minute at peak times to get support for your Amstrad NC100. And it must be user friendly because it says so. Parallel and serial port at the back, so handy for a little bit of on-site configuration, although that's probably 2, maybe 3 line at most display. That's fun. And a memory card slot. So, thank you very much. I know this one was a donation. I didn't buy this one. I'm really sorry that I don't have the name. But like I say, I did thank this person personally. I feel so unappreciative that I don't remember the names of everyone who sent stuff in. It's bad. I'll try and make a list in future in case people don't include it in the box. Also, I won't be taking... Well, I'll be saying no to donations for the next, I'd say, month to 2 months. Just because I don't want stuff coming in and then having to take it all out again to the new cave. I'm really worried about the move, you know, the amount of stuff I've got to move. So I'm just putting things on hold for now. Even a Falcon... You know, exceptions can be made. Baz, exceptions can be made. Use a Dremel on it. You leave 8-bit guy alone. You meanies. We will have a bad day in the office, right? What have we got? That is just bubble wrap. No old towels so far. Good evening, Dan. Retro Recollections. Got an adapter. Ooh. And the adapter says Steinberg on it. Cubase VST 32. Something musical. Hello. What have we got here? Come to Neil. We've got a Yamaha digital mixing card DS2416. Look at the outputs on that bad boy. This is a serious bit of kit. PCI. It's Yamaha. Filthy. And we've got something else in here. Neil's gone creepy. Have I gone creepy? Oh, hello there. This is another Yamaha card. Someone said, does it have MIDI? Yes. It must have a breakout cable because that's labelled as MIDI IF. Little socket there. This is a Yamaha PCI Audio MIDI card SW1000XG. General MIDI. This is a lovely box of MIDI sound card goodness. What's this one? Oh, this looks like a RAID card or a SCSI adapter. Yeah, this is a SCSI card. Adaptec AHA 2940/2940OU+. Everything we need for our audio workstation. Nice fast hard disks with our SCSI card, MIDI, and we've got the dongle to allow us to use Cubase legally. It's for PC, yeah. It's for PC. I don't think a name was in... Oh, there is a note. There's a note in the box. Hi, Neil. Hope there are some uses for these from Phil Sping Wilkin. Yeah, Sping. Thank you, Phil. Very much appreciated. And he sent them on the 24th of the 10th. So they only just arrived the other day. What year was that released? Which thing, Baz? What are you talking about? If you want to look it up, you could tell us. It's the Yamaha DS 2416. There's lots of internal interfaces as well for other stuff. Caps look okay. Yes, don't worry, Mumbo. The bubble wrap is empty, but I'm actually going to put them back in just for now. Nobody likes to hear the crunch when you roll up some old bubble wrap. What should we do with that? It seems a waste to put it in like a games machine or something. We'll have to come up with some... Oh yeah! Yeah, what's happening with the briefing? That's delayed, is it, until 6 PM now? Ugh. Next up, I know this one comes from Dan, Retro Recollections. I bought this from the RMC Discord for sale and wanted room. Dan put these up for sale. I thought I need this. So he gave me a very good price for them. And he has sent what I asked. He didn't send me a brick. Super Famicom gamepad. Doesn't feel too bad. A little bit yellowed on one side, but nothing we can't fix up. He has done the courtesy of cleaning it. Thank you, Dan. And a Super Nintendo one. That one's a bit dirtier, a bit of finger juice in there. So that's the European one and the Japanese one. Not much difference that I can see other than the name. No, I think they're identical. And I do have a Super Famicom and a Super Nintendo, which is why I wanted both of these to go with them. So thanks for fixing me up with them, Dan. Next. And do check out his channel, by the way, Retro Recollections. I think he's just hit 2,000, or he was fast approaching 2,000 subscribers. What have we got here? This looks like something I bought on eBay from Barcelona. Let's see what it is. Cheers, Ralph. Check, this is actually something RMC related. Yes, it is. I bought this hoping that it might arrive in time for that Yamaha episode, the MSX. But it didn't, but that doesn't matter because I will make full use of it. Thank you. Yes, there is a link that Richard has posted to Retro Recollections channel. Go and give them a sub. SD card reader for MSX computers with 512k RAM. Is that on there? I think. So that can pretty much handle anything you can throw at it. MSX, MSX2, MSX2 Plus, MSX Turbo R. Sounds like a car. So I can enjoy exploring the MSX library, which I know very little about, really. Yeah, nice label. I know there are other options, but you know, this wasn't the most expensive. There There are others out there with all sorts of crazy features and added sound chips, because you could get games with extra sound chips and all FPGA versions and all of that stuff. I just wanted to load the games, you know. Didn't want to go too crazy with it. It's an expansion for a sex machine. Oh, right. Be careful with this one. It's got my actual address on it. Okay. This has come from Retro Bench, who very kindly have agreed to sponsor the This Week in Retro podcast for the month of November. And Retro Bench are a great choice if you need capacitor kits for your Amigas, for your Jaguars, for all sorts of machines. But really interestingly, they've started selling complete Mister kits. Everything you need, the case, the DE10 Nano, the Mister hat, everything. So you don't need to worry about, you know, finding it, because stock has been a real issue to get hold of a Mister. So if you need a Mister, retrobench.com, Scott will sort you out. He is a brilliant guy. He comes to the Southwest Amiga group and recaps people's machines, and he's just a lovely bloke. So if you're in the market for a Mister or anything else, check out Retro Bench. You'll be hearing more about them in the podcast. And he's very kindly sent me something that doesn't work, but I reckon we can get it going when we've got time to look at it. It's an FMV module for my CD32. For all of those thousands of games that support it. There's no logical reason to really want one of these, which is what makes you want one of these, isn't it? It's like, why does anyone really want a CD TV? What can you do on it that you can't really on other machines? Because I didn't have one and I wanted one, and it looked desirable. So Scott has diagnosed that the MPEG chip is faulty on it, and he's actually included a couple of spare MPEG chips. So we're going to have to brush up on our drag soldering skills to make sure we get that on there. So we'll make sure we've got the new lab all set up with everything we need in the new cave to make that happen. The CD-TV is ace, but you know, logically you would go, do I really need that? I should stop myself there. We don't ask those questions, do we? These are not questions we ask on RMC. No, I don't fancy soldering them until I've, you know, got it all ready, and I'm absolutely confident in doing it. And then he sent it to me, and then he sent me another package and said, oh, I should send you this. This should work with the FMV once that it's repaired. And what it is a Kipper 2K CD32 expansion adapter. So it's got the slot for the FMV module internally. Slots into the machine, slots into the FMV module, and then also gives you the keyboard out and the video out. So you don't have to use the S video or the RF, isn't it? That's right, that's what you got on the CD32, so you can get a nice video output. So, cool. Behave, Richard. 2 more boxes. And then we get onto our Sensi match. This one comes from Chris, who is in the chat. He's put his name on it, and he sent me a box of Dettol. I can already smell it. Now, Chris did say, do you want me to tell you what's in the box? I said no. Leave it as a surprise, Chris. So I have no idea what we're letting ourselves in for here. He's made a little handle, look. Oh, Chris, look at this. I can see Super Game Boy. Oh wow, this goes well with what Dan sent him with my Super Nintendo controllers. So this is the adapter that lets you play Game Boy games on the Super Nintendo, isn't it? 1000 leaked batteries. There it is. Awesome. That's a really cool thing to have. Thank you. I can hook up a Super Nintendo to an OSSC and play Game Boy games through it to capture it. Nice that it's boxed as well. What else have we got? As if that wasn't enough. Oh! It's the system to go with it. A very fine example of one, because mine is super yellow. All sorts to go with it as well. Okay, this is the Japanese power supply, so it's a Super Famicom. The AC adapter. It's kind of fun that it snaps away. You don't get to step on them like a British flag. Ooh, what have we got here? It's a very well wrapped cartridge of some sort. No, it's not a cartridge. It's a DS, complete with stickers. I don't know what character that is. Got kind of like half boy, half pirate thing. Cat in a hat. And Super Penguin Boy. All the Japanese greats. And then on the back we've got, what is that? I think it's Super Penguin Boy again. Nintendo DS 2008. And the hinge is good. Sometimes these just go completely floppy, so that's nice. Oh, it's got power. It's held its charge for however long it's been turned off. There's not a game in there, so it's not going to do a lot, but it's come up in Japanese. Is that the same sound that R1 makes over here? I think it is. DSs just do that, do they? They're just indestructible. They just power on. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. And this is actually a really clean, nice example of a Super Famicom. Cost 300 yen from the Eco Reuse Factory. Really nice. I was always envious of my Super Nintendo owning friend back in the day. As much as I loved my Amiga, there were some games that just couldn't touch it. Street Fighter 2, of course. Uniracers. What else did we play on his Super Nintendo or Super Famicom? Trying to remember now. I wanted to say Snake Rattle and Roll, but that was on his NES before he upgraded, and that was a great game. F-Zero. We played loads of F-Zero. How much is 300 yen, anyone? Just wondering how much these things go for over there. The reason for donating it is I don't have anything to play an NTSC Famicom on. €3. Wow. £2.30ish. That's crazy money, isn't it? That is crazy. But I guess every single house probably had one over there, if not more than one. Thank you so much for that, Chris. Let's put that safely down here. This one has no name, but it says easiest to open from this side. So try that. And it is wrapped in a Doritos box. The person who sent this in had 15 packets of chili heatwave Doritos. Their fingers are still red. Proper gamer, yeah, proper gamer. Gamer's diet. As I love these unboxing vids, feel like a kid in an old game shop. Well, imagine how I feel. I absolutely love doing this. And I think I enjoy doing it live with you as opposed to making videos about unboxing like I used to. I know, it's nice to share the experience live and the reaction. Neil reacts. Hi Neil. Oh, Reese, you're going to like this. Hi Neil, welcome to your new Light Sixer Woody VCS from Atari. I've included a couple of games. I won't say what they are. Could you imagine getting this for Christmas? Anyway, did you know that every Woody VCS is different? No two have the same grain. How cool is that? A bespoke games machine from 1979. Have fun, Nick Farley. Thank you, Nick. I don't know if you're in the chat or not. Oh, here are the games that I was trying not to mention because I thought we'd dig in and find them. Wow. Math Grand Prix. Look at the faces. Loving the maths. And Centipede. Gotta be honest, I'm more likely to put Centipede in first than Maths Grand Prix. I wonder how many educational games there are out there for the 2600. Right, make sure there's nothing in there. There's nothing in the bubble wrap, Mumbo, don't worry. I've covered the 2600 on the channel before with, I think it was a Woody, but it was on loan, it wasn't actually mine. Okay, Lacto, thank you, Mark. Have fun. Zoom you out a bit. Oh, it smells old. There you go, there's my bespook. I was just pissing by and looking at my bespook Woody. Now, he did mention when he sent it in that there's a bit of plastic missing there, so maybe we can 3D print something. Good moaning. But there you go, the light, the sixer, because it's got the 6 buttons. They all need a good clean up. There's a lot of dead animal, or dead insect. Oh, I should have put my gloves on for this one. But other than looking filthy, hopefully that's in working order. That will come up nicely, I think. That's got to take pride of place in the, you know, it's so iconic in its shape, isn't it? It's got to take pride of place in the new cave. everything. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Now I do have over there the Atari 2600 joystick to go with this, and also I've now got a set of paddles boxed. Yeah. So I've got everything I need. Thank you very much, Nick. I didn't see if you were in the chat or not, Nick, but if you're not and you're watching this at a later date, very much appreciated. Muldroth, yes, a new cave has been found. If you rewind later, I give you a tour of it, but the paperwork hasn't yet been signed. So. Always prepare for disappointment. I think that's all the unboxing we've got today. Yeah, good. And by the way, if you didn't back the book and you want to buy it, I will get it on sale before Christmas, but I want to make sure I've fulfilled and made good on all of the Kickstarter orders before I undertake any more orders, but there'll be about 200 extra available. Retro tea breaks. Check it out. Let's go back to the other camera. Oof. Forgot my laptop, didn't I? Let's get that. Ever the professional. Make sure we're all plugged in. There we go. I think we're good. I think we're good. How are we all in the chat there? Think I'm back on the right mic? Yes, good. Cobrian, thank you very much for subscribing. Very kind of you. 2 Neils? Oh yeah, there's 2 Neils. Got myself down there. That's where I was keeping an eye on the chat. What have we got next? Right, it's time, Reese. Are you ready, Reese? It's time for me to play my Sensible Soccer tournament round. So I think it's probably a couple of minutes per half. Let's get Reese up on the voice chat. This is Reese from the channel Controller Reese that I've been pitched against. I need to open Discord, and also we'll see if there's any update. See if Dave's got an update on lockdown things. Yeah, Dave, if you could. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to get Velociraptor on the chat first, and he's just going to give us an update on what was announced for the for England for the lockdown, because I'd like to know. Earth calling Dave. Let's see if he picks up. Earth calling Dave. Oh, I can hear myself, Dave.
Going to mute you on YouTube then. Otherwise we'll get evidence. Oh. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can everyone hear Dave okay in the chat?
Hello, cave dwellers. Jesse here.
I'll bring the music down. Yes, I think they say yes. So the PM gave an update. Did he? Was it 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock? When did it happen?
So the PM has not given his update yet, but the information has been given to the press.
Right. Okay.
So he's yet to explain the reasons behind it.
Okay, fill us in, Dave.
There will be a month-long lockdown for England until the 2nd of December. Non-essential shops to close, leisure facilities, etc. to close. However, schools and universities will remain open. So this will be similar to the wealth restrictions that I've just completed. It doesn't look as if the devolved nations will follow suit. Of course, that could change. At present, Wales is set to end theirs as England starts, and Scotland is moving to a more detailed system than England with 5 tiers rather than 3, but Scotland is not moving to a general lockdown like England is.
Right. Thank you, Dave. So, is it going to work, do you think, like the first big lockdown we had? What I'm asking is,
no.
It's not. Okay, so I work here in the cave in isolation, and I can travel here in isolation. Am I still allowed to come to work? That's the question.
My understanding is yes.
Okay.
You would be able to do that. If you worked in a hairdresser's, no, you couldn't. If you work in a school, yes. The main difference is that you can travel to work, and that schools and universities will remain open.
Right. Okay. And are they doing anything to help businesses to encourage people, you know, either to work
That's
from
not
home?
been made clear yet.
I guess we just got to wait and see what the PM comes up and says. But yeah, so I guess it's official now. Then we will be locked down again. I guess
in England, yes.
You know what that means? It means we're going to have another RMC lockdown quiz.
As long as you do the music mashups.
Okay, I'll come up with some music mashups. Okay, we'll do that again. So there you go. I hope that helps anyone in England who wanted to know the latest. Thank you very much, Dave. I will hang up now and we'll move over to Reese.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good. Oh, I've cut him off. Sorry, Dave. I cut you off just as you were about to say something. But that's Dave, who is Velociraptor in chat with his dulcet Scottish tones. Always a pleasure. Let's go over to Reese. I've missed a call from Reese. Reese is talking about sending me a audio video mod for the Atari 2600. See, as soon as an Atari appeared on screen, he private messaged me saying, I want to help you with the Atari. Thank you very much, Reese. Let's give you a call. Where's my telephone button? Is he going to pick up? Reese, you're live on the air. Don't swear, please. He's always swearing.
I'll try not to.
Can we all hear Reese okay? You're a little bit quiet in my ears.
Oh. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that.
I'll turn it up a bit here and I'll turn the music down just to compensate. There we go. So, Reese, it's you and me.
It is.
Let's bring it up on the screen here. Here we go. Neil versus Reese. So the first round of the RMC Sensible Soccer Knockout, we've got Carl versus Stog. Stog, who kindly arranged all of this. Devlin versus Dean. That's Mean Machine Dean, I think. Pillock versus It's an Arse. Reese versus Neil. So we're going to do this through Amiga Live. Now, Reese, tell us about your experience of playing Sensible Soccer and any tips you may have for me.
Well, so the very first time I played this game was earlier today against you, and I haven't practiced at all this afternoon, so this will be my second game.
Awesome. Hang on.
So no pressure.
Just turn off my monitor speaker in case it's echoey. So yeah, that bodes well for me. Hopefully I can beat a man who has never played sensible soccer, but we never know. So you're going to host, aren't you?
Yes,
okay.
I will just start the game.
So if you haven't used Amiga Live before, just do a quick Google search for Amiga Live, all one word. It's a fantastic system with hundreds of games that allow you to play remotely with your friends. And it's free. And I don't know how it's legal, but it works.
Just don't question it.
Just don't question it, yeah.
No.
So place your bets in the chat. R for Reese, N for Neil. Who is going to win? Oh, hello, Cine Steve. I'm only decent at Sensi on the Mega Drive. It plays very differently on the Amiga. N £100. R. Oh, you've. Oh, it's hard. I think we're about even on the betting odds.
Here we go.
So I think I set myself as player 2 before, and it's remembered that setting when we tested it.
Is this sampled music?
Let me kill the
Very advanced.
music here, and I'll bring in the game music, which is now stopped. There we go. We've got the game music.
Do I need to do this? I think I need to do this.
Okay, go ahead. Now, I don't know what the rules of the tournament are. Is it club Premier League teams?
Premier League teams.
From 1996.
Oh.
Yeah, so you got to make it blue to be the player, and now I'll choose one. Stop moving it. Stop. Oh no, we're gonna stick to England, aren't we? Yeah, carry on. Sorry. Choose teams. Oh, hang on. Have you chosen the national team? Is that what's happened there?
Never played this game.
Okay, I'll take control, Reese. I'll take control. Okay. Choose teams. Club teams. Europe.
Oh. There we go.
Oh, hang on. I've pressed Estonia. England. Premier League.
Here we go. One player one.
Okay. 1996. I have no idea who was doing well, but I'm going to go dirty. I'm going to go Wimbledon. I'm going to hope I've got Vinnie Jones on my team. Who are you going to be?
Leicester City, of course.
Leicester City. There we go. I don't know which of us is going to end up being which team. I don't know. It depends how the joysticks are configured on this thing. Wimbledon. Yes, it's me. Okay, good. I'm Wimbledon. Now over to you. If you hit your fire button. Yeah, it's working. Cool.
Okay.
Yes, I've got Vinnie Jones. Look out. Look out. I'm going to hack you down. Thank you, Alan.
Which one am I?
Do let me know if the game audio is too loud. So this is to go through to the second round. I'm the blue team. Do you follow the football, Reese?
I know nothing about football. Absolutely nothing.
What is your sport? Do you have a sport?
CrossFit. Is that a sport?
CrossFit and Atari.
Member of the cult.
So Reese has a channel called Control. Reese, you've been putting a lot of effort into it in recent months, haven't you? You're really YouTubing hard. How's that going
Just
for you?
1,000 subscribers.
Oh no, completely smashed it the wrong way. Yeah, how's it going? You hit 1,000 subscribers recently, didn't you?
Earlier this week, yep.
I can't remember. Does that unlock something for you?
Not yet. I need to get my watch hours up.
Oh yeah. So you've got to do a certain number of subscribers and watch hours, yeah.
Before I can start earning those YouTube millions.
Chris. Yeah, I'm hoping he'll be nice to me if I promote his YouTube channel.
Oh,
was that a shot? I think that counts as a shot. Right, I'm going to focus in now. Come on. Oh. Any tips in the chat for how to score? Because I'm really rubbish at finishing on the Amiga version of this game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's come off the crossbar. Usually in these old football games, it was all about the angles. You had to come at the goal at a diagonal, and you could normally score more easily. That's easier said than done. Be good. That's a good tip. Oh, I've hit the crossbar twice now. Oh!
Where am I going?
Don't hold the direction when shooting, says Bitterblue. Is that the tip? Okay. Well, that doesn't work. They just stop. Oh, it's half time. Point the ball into the goal and kick. Thank you. Plug the joystick in. Go team. Right. So I've had 6 goal attempts. You've had 1. You've had more possession, 56%. Make that possession work. Hold fire for your power shot. Get your angles right and bend away.
Is that me?
Oh, right. I'm going down now, aren't I? Right.
I have to go up this time.
Yeah. I prefer going up the screen. Oof.
So we're both big football enthusiasts.
Oh, yeah. I remember Emil Heskey. I saw him on the team. He was a powerhouse.
Muzzy, is it?
I don't remember him. I've got to stop. Oh, right. This is it, surely. No. Let's have another go. Thank you.
Oh. Wait. Oh, yes. Let's see.
This always happens to me on Sensi on the Amiga. I get tons of shots in. I just can't score. Yes!
Is that an own goal?
I don't care if it was an own goal.
It was.
I think it was.
Oh dear.
Right, hold it together, team. Oh, you're making a substitution. No.
Oh, sorry. Doing that earlier. I have no idea how.
I think if I just put the controller down, I might do better. Reese can walk it into his own net.
Ooh. My goalie is very good.
Go on, walk it in, Reese. Ooh. If you time it right, you can get. I think you can get a good diving header on this game. Here we go. This is it. Oh no. There it is.
There we go.
Good game, sir. Good game.
Game.
Did you get any practice in this afternoon after we tested this or not?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Well, you've scored your first goal in Sensible Soccer.
Oh yeah.
OG by a player called Keller. So thank you very much for that, Reese.
Oh, thank you. That was an experience.
Better luck in the next tournament. And
yes, thank you.
Do go and check out Reese's channel.
Knocked out in my very first game. By myself.
See you later, mate. Bye-bye.
See ya.
There we go. So you go. That's Amiga Live. Well worth checking out. And that does mean I've now got to play another game later against... I don't know how... Stog, are you updating this as we play? Let's have a look at the chart. Hasn't updated it yet, but I'm going to be up against Pillock or It's an Arse. So I will play that game off stream later. Goodo. Where's my music? There we go. Good. So we normally end these streams with a little bit of magazine action. So we'll do that on the topic of RPGs. A magazine I saw the other day, picked out, was issue 8 of Amiga format, going all the way back to March 1990. And there's a couple of things I want you to see here. In fact, I'm going to bring the camera closer so you can actually see what's in here. Hold on. Okay, not the best angle. Oh, by the way, this is a face mask that Mark Devlin sent in. Look, I've got myself, my own face on my face mask. And yes, I have worn it out. RMC, love your cave. Thank you, Stog. Yeah, so the first thing that stood out when I opened this magazine was this advert. Win a murder. Yes, you can win a murder in Amiga format. A prize you would kill for. A murder mystery weekend. I don't know what they were thinking. Bring your murder gloves, exactly. Anyway, I don't know if we've got special reserve in this in 1990. Soft Seller. The Computer Shop, that was in a lot of them. Ashcom. Don't think we've got special reserve. No. Anyway, the review that stood out for me was a game called Draken by Infogrames. Anyone play this one? And I have got a clip of the game which I can bring up while I have a read, so you can see what I'm talking about. Go away, Neil. What are you doing there? Here we go. Courtesy of Jar Matthews. Thank you for your video. I'm just going to play this while I read the review, because it's kind of cool, that 3D aspect of this game. So it reads, in another world and another time, a strange island once appeared. This island is home to 8, or is it 9, dragons that have returned after a long slumber to rid themselves of a very annoying thorn in their sides. Mankind. Eventually, the only course of action became clear. 4 adventurers would have to travel to the island and defeat the dragons in order to steal the magic stones set in their foreheads, and thus ensure mankind will be free from the threat for once and all. You're going to be leading the party, so the first thing to do is decide just who should go and what their attributes should be. Classic RPG there. And a fighter would be a good idea, so would a magician, but how about a priest or priestess? Once you think you've got the right mix, you can worry about their strength levels and so on, which are generated randomly and range from 1 to 20. This is just a simple process of deciding which numbers you're happy with for the particular attribute and then moving on to the next. God, this game is flying by. I don't know if that's normal speed. I guess it is. The easy option, though, is to use the default team, which is made up of a person of each profession. But this does mean that you won't be able to save the game as you're playing. You like the look of that, do you? Doesn't look like it's running on an A500. I was oh, it was on the SNES, was it, Maldroth? I can imagine it running on the SNES with its Mode 7 graphics. Moving during the game is divided into 2 major modes. The first is individual mode, where your characters are all on screen, and by pointing and clicking with a mouse pointer, one character can be directed about the screen. This is the main movement mode. Whenever you're inside a building, handy for picking up objects which are found laying around. So when you're in a building, it's more like a point and click adventure game. The other movement mode, which we're seeing here, is for travelling about the island, and it simply involves hitting the return key, at which point all characters walk towards the front of the screen, and fast movement around the lands can be achieved by using the cursor keys. So this is normal speed, just flying around with the cursor keys. It's almost like you're on a magic carpet or something. So it scores a 73%, highest rating is 8 for the graphics. The sound effects are terrific and very atmospheric. The graphics are also very good, and it's nice to see such a high level of attention to detail. For example, get a member of your party to take some armour out of his or her backpack and put it on, and the picture at the side of the screen will show them wearing it. Oh, there you go, that's the inside of the building. So it's a nice mix of that 3D fast travel and then point and click, which 1990, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, you like the look of that? So there you go, that's my magazine review. Apart from the Winner Murder, I don't remember seeing anything else too exciting. Space Ace has come out this month for £44.95. scoring 62%. Kenny Dalglish's Soccer Match came out, scoring 31%. Oh, the Great Supercars came out. It got 86%. I think that's due a 90%. And The Untouchables, which was a great game, that came out this month. 87%. And there was, what's this? Some kind of art contest that happened. Speaking of art contests, there was a wonderful one held by the 10-minute Amiga Retrocast on YouTube. Lots of wonderful submissions. Oh, here's Special Reserve. Here we go. I didn't recognise it because it looks so different in this magazine. It's a Special Reserve advert that's devoid of colours and has some kind of Viking. Oh yes, and Pixel Vixen as well was involved in that. Yeah, thank you, Dave. So the thing with Special Reserve was you could pay to become a member. Was anyone a Special Reserve member? I know I wasn't. You get a bi-monthly buyer's guide, release schedules, a membership card, and a 7-day hotline that you can phone. Rich Shears, were you a member of Special Reserve? Yes? Is that what you're answering? Okay, two colours then, Lacto, black and white. So was it worth it, Richard, to be a member of Special Reserve? I'll tell you what you can pick up. You can buy Blood Money for £14.49. You can buy Elite. It's still going to cost you £15.49 in 1990. New Zealand Story, £15.99. Do you know what? When I read these things in the modern day, it makes me realise how much I pirated, because I just don't remember the cost, you know, of games on the Amiga. I just don't remember how much they cost back then, because I had so many discs of copied games. TDO was a member, and Richard says, yes, the discounts were quite good. I got my money back and more. Populous is going to cost you £16.49. Police Quest 1, £15.99. God, how much would you pay for Police Quest 1 now, boxed? You're looking at about, I don't know, 60 quid plus. Thank you, Jorg. Amiga Specials. Afterburner, £7.49. Speedball, £8.99. King's Quest 3, £7.49. Ah, thank you very much, Mark, for the £10. That's very kind of you. Dave says, I bought my games from John Menzies or Woolworths. I don't know that they are coming back, Dave. I think the owner of the Woolworths name came out after that announcement and said, no, it's nothing to do with us. So I think it might have been a fake tweet. Fake news. Mark, you can have, there you go. You can have a table jump for that. You can have 2. Yeah, I was very excited when I saw it, Dave, but it was a hoax, yeah, sadly. So I think that just about wraps it up for our stream today. Bang on about 2 hours as we normally are, so that's worked out well. Let's bring the camera back before we say goodbye. Hello. Yeah, really appreciate you hanging out. It's always fun. I hope you've enjoyed it too. We'll have to see where we are next month, because we've got the lockdown situation, but I think that will be fine, as Dave explained. But it depends where I am in the moving of the cave. So worst case scenario, a live stream will happen, but it'll be from my spare room like we used to do. Do you remember the old lockdown streams? So we may have to do that. I will sort out a quiz. Maybe that we do the quiz next month. And the big thing that I've got to figure out is how do I run a YouTube channel making videos while moving all of this to a new cave, which I'm hoping will happen. I'm hoping in December, but again, it will depends on paperwork and lockdown and all the rest of it. So I'll put the feelers out. I'd love to know what you think. Oh, thank you, Russell. That's very kind of you. You can have a table jump as well. There you go. What I'm thinking is for the patrons, not daily, but maybe every other day, vlogs of how the move is going. Just very casual. Hey guys, this is what I've been doing today. My attention is on building this part. You know, we've got this furniture, and just sort of keep you in the loop on how it's going. And then maybe periodically I'll compile those videos to make a video for the main channel, just to keep some content going out. Take a little break for Christmas, hopefully, if all goes well. And then 2021, I've got so much to tell you about. If everything goes to plan, I've got so much. It seems silly talking about 2021, but we're about to go into November. It's going to come really quickly. Here's hoping it's going to be a better year than 2020. Can't get any worse, can it? And big things are going to happen in the cave. And I hope as soon as this lockdown's over and the cave set up, as many of you as possible can come and visit. We'll arrange monthly events. We'll have guest speakers. We'll get Hoffman over if we can. We'll get Ravi over if we can. We'll get some beers in. And we'll make the most of the new space. And I hope you all stick around. And thank you so much for your support in allowing me to do this with my life. Ridiculous. But I love it. Thank you, everyone. Take care and have a great weekend. Bye-bye. He's waving.